Hi. Thank
Can
you
you
so
hear
much
me?
for coming. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so guys, if you have any family member coming to the UK with kids, or you know anyone living in the UK with kids, and you want to really save them, save their kids from being taken away, please invite them to join this live. Tag them, share this live so that more people can. We're just trying to create awareness. So thank you so much, Mr. Oladapo. Is it Oladapo? Olalekon? Yes.
Olalekon, yes.
Olalekon, thank you so much for coming on this live. So I'll just let you introduce yourself to the audience and we'll get started.
Oh, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to be here. I want to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone that is joining us, wherever you are joining from. I'm Olalekon Odede. I'm a community advocate, and I also support families as my case a friend in case they don't have a legal representation at court proceeding, just to support them. I'm not a legal advisor, neither am I a social worker. However, I provide advocacy support to families, and I'm from Save the Woman.
Okay, so yeah, thank you. So Olalekon is from Save the Woman. He has a program, and he also has a YouTube channel also on Instagram. So if you want to follow him, you really need to follow him, because in case of, we're not praying for this sort of things to happen, but in case it happened, so you would be prepared, you would join, you would be able to reach out to him. So he's like an advocate. He helped Nigerians in diaspora, or Africans in diaspora, who have lost their kids to child protection services, and help them to get their kids back. Trust me, sorry to hold and waste your time a little bit, but before I allow you to explain this, I myself have experienced this sort of thing before. I've been reported by my neighbor because my daughter was crying, and I had a child protection and service called me to know what is going on. So trust me, I was just called. My daughter was not taken away from me, but I can't imagine those women or those families who their kids are no longer with them, who are with child protection services. I can't imagine the kind of trauma or the kind of agony they are going through, because the thought of it alone, when it happened to me, I think I was almost running crazy. I was like, I want to go back to Nigeria. I'm not going to lose my child. So that was why when you came to me and you said we should do this, I'm like, yeah, I've been looking for someone. Like, we really need to educate our people who are coming to the UK. The way they parent children here in the UK is totally different from how they do it back home in Nigeria. And you do not want to lose your child, because we are all coming here to give our kids better life. So not at the end of the day, you now give them, you will lose them to social workers that the families they might go to might not even treat them right. And of course, no family wants to see their child be with someone else. So yeah, so let me just let you explain the whole situation now.
Thank you very much. I just want to take a minute to tell everyone that is watching and listening, looking at the topic, I want you to take a deep breath. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Okay? Because that's the reason why Faith Ojone has brought us to this platform, because it's better, prevention is better than cure, because it is a traumatic experience. If you just Google BBC Panorama, children in care, you will see a lot of stories, just recent stories. And this has been happening for decades. In fact, there are some cases that happened in 1983. There are some cases that happened in 1987, whereby 100 children were snatched away from their families. So let me just bring it down. This country has a law like every other country. There's a law. In fact, there's a United Nations Convention on the right of a child to be protected, to be safeguarded, to meet their welfare being. Yeah. So that's the law. However, each country, they have a right to protect their children with their own law as well. So that's brought us to United Nations Article 9. It says children must not be separated from their parents against their will unless it is their best interest. So now, when you now come back to UK law, the Children Act 1989, it gives them power, local authority, the court, even the parents and other agency called, you will start hearing the name professionals. So it's give them power to ensure children are safeguarded and protected, and their well-being is paramount. So I'm happy that you mentioned that it happens to you, because there are a lot of things that's happening in UK now. There's a law, there's a policy, there's a process, there's a procedure to follow. But unfortunately, it's not being followed at the moment. In the past year now, things have changed. Things have changed. So that's why we said we should come on board to have this kind of a talk. What can even bring them to your attention? What can link you up, or what can trigger, like I've said, welfare of the child? Somebody that called the police, your neighbor, depending on their best interest or what's intention, because sometimes you might not have a good neighbor within your side. So some neighbor, they have different ideology. Some don't even like hearing children crying at all. So from there, you start seeing some behavior. So if you didn't watch your back carefully, they will put you into trouble.
Exactly. That was what happened.
Yeah, the good part of it is that there are some local authority that they always follow the threshold before they can take a child. Taking a child should be last resort. Okay. First of all, when they trigger, they make a call that there's a concern. They will call what they call strategy meeting. Within that strategy meeting, ex visitor, the police, the school, and any other professional, including police, they will be on that platform, and the allocated social worker to discuss, is there any risk?
Sorry, is there any... Somebody said no audio. Guys, can you hear us? Can you guys hear us? If you can hear us, please say yes. So let me know what's going on.
Let's start, please.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay, you can hear us. Someone said no audio. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the audio is good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, like I was saying, there are a lot of process they need to follow. So, do they follow that process? That's where the concern will come in. Because if they follow the process and everybody come around, as a mother, as a father, as a parent, school might say, oh, this is a lovely parent, they have been careful, caring, supportive, and that's another part of it. But if it's a type of a parent that whenever they book appointment, medical appointment, you miss the appointment, it's part of the clause. That would be neglect. Okay? Or maybe the child doesn't dress well to school, or they've often seen the child everywhere, or there's a mark around the child, that if there's a sign of abuse, or there's a risk of abuse, or likely future harm, then they will said, okay, we have to escalate it to section 47, investigation inquiry.
Okay.
So from there, if there is need, it can trigger to child protection plan. You can see the process. It's a very long process, but this is not the situation in some area, in some local authority. For instance, parents, those of you coming to UK, there are things you need to do. We cannot stop the wave, but we can know how to swim with them.
True.
So, knowing the system, understanding the system, and think how you want to behave or how you want to comport yourself goes a long way. In fact, if you don't have food at home, if you don't have a right clothing, these are neglect. There are a lot of things they will categorize. So, come back to why children are being taken. In some cases, it is what we call systemic and institutional Afrophobia racism. There's racism everywhere, and it's happening everywhere, particularly in UK. And sometimes it is due to prejudice. Some culture, they believe their culture is more better than another culture. And some already have mentality that African, they beat, they flog their children.
Yeah.
And they know it can be accepted.
Yeah.
Are you with
Can you?
me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So
Yeah.
just to be quick, just to give a quick idea, what you need to do, you need to create what we call communicate what we call family values in your
To
home,
your children.
your
Okay.
children. Let them know what are your family values. We don't lie. We don't do this. We love each other. We respect each other. These are the things. And sometimes, outshore, domestic shore that you do, it has to be age related.
Oh, really?
If it's not age related, they can call it as abuse.
I mean, so you can't train your children to start being
It,
independent from an
it,
early age.
it has to be age related because
Oh
sometimes
my God.
they teach the children their rights, but they don't teach them the responsibility in schools. And the most important part of it, majority of the problem comes from the schools. You know, some people, as we are traveling, we are coming to UK, we have that excitement that, oh, I want to go and make money. There's a work in UK. I want to go and make money. The way you prioritize that work, you have to prioritize your children.
Your child. Yeah. Okay, let me cut you here a little. Let me let you know. That's why the reason I always tell people that when you're coming to the UK with your children, people said, oh, you know why? Because right now I'm not working. So some people don't really understand why I don't work. It's because I'm a mom. So when that issue happened, that the child protection services called me, the first question they asked were, are you working full time, and is your husband working full time too? I knew where they were going. They wanted to know if I'm prioritizing my work and I don't have time for my child. That's why she's always crying. I said, no, I do not work full time. And luckily for me, I wasn't working full time then. I was working part time. So I took up a full time job, but I was like, okay, this is going to. I said, no, I'm not going to do this again. I had to quit my job. I have to look for a more flexible job because coming to the UK, both parents are working. There is no way they would think that you're neglecting your child. So it's really, really not easy when coming to the UK with children and both parents are working full time. I mean, it's
Let,
scary, yeah.
let me just say one thing again. Just last 2 weeks, we were able to stop those children to go into care. They didn't take them. But the husband and wife have to left their house, the whole building, and go and stay in one of the wife's sister's house. So the sister has to come to their house because of investigation. There's a risk, there's allegation. Okay? What brought that allegation?
What?
The mother and the father were both doctors, medical doctors. And on the way to school in the morning, mommy told son, excuse me, I'm coming. Because mommy was talking to the driver. And the boy came out of the car and got to school looking angry, not smiling face. And they said, what happened? My mommy talked to me the way I don't like. How old is the boy? 8 years old. Because they dropped the child very early in the morning for school club, for morning breakfast. The child will stay again in the afternoon for school club.
After school
So
club, yeah.
most of the time, they spend time in school.
Oh.
So a lot of things will have been coming out.
Yeah, they pay attention to those
And
kind
from there, if there's a allegation, whether it is malicious or it is true or it's just assumption, they will have to interview those children. And when they interview them, they also need to interview you as a parent. And they have to give you different lawyers just to check the consistency of your statement. And the social worker will also come to assess you, to ask you questions. And what I want to say is this: make sure you seek legal advice immediately before you say anything, because it will be difficult when you just start telling the story of everything. At the end of the day, you don't even know what they have or what information they are holding, and probably they don't even have any evidence or any information, any substantial information. But you, like talking, it's too much. They can grab some things out of there. And secondly, the way we talk. You can see the way I'm talking. Some of them don't know that our voice can be loud sometimes. So they see it as aggression.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. And when it is a white, British, or Caucasian, or anybody, they will say, oh, it's confidence, it's courageous, it's buoyant. But if it's an African, they will say it's an aggressive woman. So that's stereotyping. Now, secondly, let me talk about discipline, because majority of how and why African children are being taken into care is basically on either abuse, alleged abuse, or neglect, or lack of supervision. Some people will go to work 24/7. They will leave their children in the house, go for shift. And don't forget, this country, when you are dropping your children in school, the teacher, they study you psychologically. In the morning, it will be so pressure, you know, and you want to take them to school, so you are in a haste to rush to school, and the children can sometimes, they can frustrate individual. So you need to calm down. Calm down. Always keep your hand to yourself. Don't beat your child.
Yeah. I mean, this one, we need to loud it.
Don't beat your... If you are coming with your turning stick, let it be for making food for your husband or for your wife. If you have a bet, the bet is for your trouser. Your hand, if your hand is scratching you, go and put it at the wall. And shouting at the child or threatening a child is, they count it as a serious concern, because it's like you are threatening a child. It's like you've committed it already. So form of discipline is another way around. So the course we are running will help you about that. So let me just give you statistics. I've talked about that, because for them to decide, it is these people that will decide. I'm sorry to say, we are not represented. So when decision is being made, they might lack cultural understanding or competency. And from there, and sometimes there's something we call double standard, bias treatment. If they said, a child said, mommy will beat me, and because of that, the child is scared, doesn't want to go back home. So they are looking for a place, a safe place, temporary for that child. Believe me, when they take that child to care, the child will be exposed to serious harm. And when that child come back to say it to them, they will say, oh, the child is just forming things, or, you know, child can be child. But this is the same child they pick out of your home.
Yeah.
So that's another way around as well. And most
I read
people,
somewhere that based on statistics, can you hear me? Yeah, I read somewhere that based on statistics, that most parents, most Africans, children are in care. I mean, so there are a lot of Nigerian parents actually undergoing through child course, because I heard that if your child is taken away from you, the parents have to undergo through some series of parenting classes to help them learn how to.
That is not even happening. They don't even put you through parenting classes. That is what we started fighting and advocating for, and they've started recently now.
Oh.
Initially before, like that woman that was crying in the video for 10 months, what brought the woman up is that a child went to school in the morning and the teacher said, my mommy beat me. Just imagine, the teacher said, my mommy beat me last night. They said, why? I messed up our sewing room. And once a child raises a concern, they will have to take all the children, because they believe if there's harm to one, there's tendency of harm to all.
Oh my goodness.
So they have to take all of them. In fact, if you are pregnant, that baby unborn is also taken. Unborn child is also taken.
They'll
So
wait for
that,
you to give birth, then they'll take the
yeah,
child away.
they will come to the hospital and take that child. However, they will go to court to seek a care order. It might be term care order, but they will place that child on child protection plan. So they will go through the court. But the problem we are having now is that there are good social workers. However, there are more of bad social workers these days now. Most of them, majority of them are liar, criminal storytellers. They can form a story for you if you don't meet a good social worker. But there are some good social workers that they will understand where and how to professionally conduct themselves. So presently, over 80,000 children are in care system. And there's a research that says by 2025, it will be over 100,000. And don't forget, African students, particularly Nigerian international students, there is a 58% increase in student admission this year compared to last year. 58% increase. And I can tell you from last September till now, they've taken more than 20 children that I know of.
Wow.
In one area. I don't want to start mentioning area now so that people will not be scared and say that I don't want to go to this area, I don't want to go to this area. Because you please come, please come. Provided you are on this platform, you know Faith or Journey, please. This is a place you can explore, you can make life better for yourself, for your family, for your loved one. Please come around, provided you know the system. That is why I'm saying that don't just come with that mind, I want to go and work, It's good to work, it's good to earn money, but please prioritize your children. Don't risk, because when it started, it's a traumatic experience. And can you guess what?
You won't be able to work. That's the truth.
They will even report you to where you are working, so they will stop you. And some will get to criminal prosecution. And if you get to criminal prosecution, there's a limit of time you can spend in prison. After you are coming out like this, they will take you to detention center straight and deport you. It has happened. We still have a family we want to fight back. Our children are here. She's already in Nigeria.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And what happened to that one? They said she used slippers to scare a child in the morning on the way to school. And they take that boy with other child to scare. That's what I'm saying. So, but if you are aware, you are informed, that's why we say you should register for that Africentric parenting course. We've put some video on our YouTube. Africentric parenting course. Once you search that, you will see one that has safe women. Click on that one. There are videos there that you can watch. Now, coming back to your the input you made now, it is 4 times more likely to take African children into care compared to white British. And guess what? It is 3 times more likely compared to other ethnic minority. So Asian minority ethnic community, they are far, far beyond us. They've labeled us that this is a harsh parent, aggressive parent. They always beat their children. And sometimes, you just tell, if you don't see that I will beat you, you have not beaten that child. But because you said that, they can say that your child said doesn't want to come back. And where did I stop again? Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries and maintaining a control. There are better ways you can do that. Lastly, let me mention this. Domestic violence. If you are coming as a partner, if you are a woman here, you have a husband that you don't go well together, please drop your children at home.
In Nigeria. See, sorry to cut you short. I've been saying this a lot on my platform, but I feel like some people don't really understand. They be like, why won't we come with children? I've always advised people on this platform, if you're coming to the UK on a student visa, please leave your children at home. Come first and understand the system and settle, get an accommodation before you go and bring your children, because it will not be conducive. You are trying to save money to pay school fees. You now have children to care for. there is no way you will not neglect those children, because the other party cannot work full time. They have to work 20 hours. So one have to work full time. So there is, I mean,
you said make sure your children understand your language. Yes, your children can understand your language, but let me tell you something. There's a research, a BBC, not even research, a BBC publication, 10th of March 2022 says children's social care generates excessive profits. Fostering home make £300,000 just last year. It's about 29% profit margin. So these are the people creating issues out of no issues. So it's like if somebody selling a casket. You will not care whether somebody died or no, did not die. So they are creating issues, even when there's no issues. And not only that, they said TV investigation highlights that if family are wrongly or wrongfully taking child protection on, they take them into care wrongly. Before they return them back, it has caused damage. In fact, you will not even get yourself again, because that child will not come back normal. That child will start telling you what to do. And every child, we call it child and young people, below 18, that law still support them. In fact, when it goes to safeguarding, anybody is covered under safeguarding, even adults, social care. So it's better you and your husband, you and your partner, as we call it here, sort out yourself if there's any grievances. And please don't come here and start raising voice at each other, to the extent that the children will be aware or it will be exposed to them. Because when this thing happens, these are the areas they are going to look at. And if you are adopting a child, make sure you get the legal paper. Because if there's no concern, if there's no problem, you can be living fine in this country. But once there's a trigger or concern raised, it is the duty of the children's services to take action. Because there are some children that died under the care of their birth family, birth parents. And most of them, they've even called social worker for help, for assistance, but they did not care. So a boy said recently he would prefer prison than to be in care. That boy must have experienced prison time. And when those children said they want to come back to you, they will be telling you they don't want to see you. They will be telling your children doesn't want to see you. Your mommy doesn't want to see you. In fact, if you are a believer, they might tell you the child does not have faith in religious again. And please, if it happens, calm down. Don't be so scared. There's a support. We don't pray for bad things. It's not everybody that because it's not everybody that they call this attention of child protection plan that they eventually take their children. No, there are some local authority that they are very supportive. They are very supportive. They want to know what is happening in that house. They want to support. But there are some local authority, the first thing they do is take away the children. And besides, let me tell you your right. Let me tell you your right. If it happens, you have a right to nominate a family friend, a pastor, a imam, anybody that can help you look after your children, pending the time they come out with investigation.
Oh, okay.
You can even give out your house. You can if you know that your house is comfortable for them, you can give out your house and you can start paying for hotel. Because they have to supervise contact with you so that you will not start talking to the children and tamper with their investigation, inquiry, or anything. But there are some social workers that they will tell you that they will just do it to the extent that to destroy you. If you go to Twitter, you see them.
Sorry to cut you short. I believe also if you're coming to the UK, where you live is very important, because the reason I had social service issue was my neighbor. This one has nothing to do that they did not hear me scream at my child. They did not see me do anything. My neighbor just did not like the fact that my child is too loud. So they now reported me to social service that my child was crying. And I was so glad that the person I spoke to, one of the social workers that I spoke to was, I think she's like from either Africa, yeah, because her accent sounded like someone from Zimbabwe or something. So she understood. I was like, these people are being racist. They don't like me there. When they tried calling social service to take away my child, that did not work. They now reported me to the house community. So that showed that from that point, we now realized that these people do not want us here because it was a white-dominated neighborhood. We were the only black. So we realized, we quickly moved out and moved to London. We even still have 1 month's rent, but we had to leave as soon as possible. So, I mean, if you're in Africa coming here, you need to look for somewhere that has your people, and also putting your child in a only white, strictly white nursery or school is not good as well. You need to put them in a mixed school. You need to look for mixed school. That's why I keep saying that sometimes it's better to always stay in areas like Birmingham, London, Manchester, all those places that you find your kind of people. That way, I mean, but if you can't stay in white,
not only that, because those area we've had enough Africans that have go through that social care. They are professionals. Majority of them, they are local counselors. So they've been kind of liberating and talking about, and telling them to know perspective, to speak up. Because sometimes you just come to the area, for instance, some area, there's no single African as a counselor in that area. So everything you are saying, they might not even understand that. You know what I mean? Even the doctors, the nurses, there's a report that, when there's a stretch mark on the body, they escalate it as a concern, as a big risk, until another. Let me even mention a particular case. There's a I want to check one family here. Basically, what they said is that they have how should I put it? We have a social worker on our platform, okay? And when this social worker is even a senior manager in camps, when she heard all these stories, she was saying, wow. Because as a social worker, they work on two models, care and control. The caring aspects, some social workers didn't apply that. And some of them are inexperienced because lack of shortage of workers.
Yeah.
Now, majority of them, they just finished 2019, 2020 pandemic. Without that, they just go into the work and they allocate the case to them. So there is no kind of experience or exposure to even have the basic understanding of the needs of those children. They just jump into the conclusion. And when they have made mistake, they want to cover up. I saw somebody said, I know of a student that has a case in court now. 2 kids taken already. She's pregnant. Can you still help? Yes, we can help in a way that we provide advice, we guide, and make sure there's no element of injustice, because it can be traumatic, you know what I mean? And somebody like that needs someone that will provide emotional support. So my contact is with
to Africans, call me, like the mode of parenting now in the UK. I think that communication, we need to start talking to our kids and let them know things to say outside and things not to say, because some of these kids might just casually say things. They don't know the effect we have. Right.
And
so
discipline. What I would say is that the mode of, first of all, the parenting style, we need to change some that are not fit for purpose. We need to change that. And also build that relationship with your child, with your children. That relationship is very, very important, because as soon as you are coming, you are putting them in school. The school here is very, very relaxed, safe environment for them to speak out. And some of them, they are finding this environment strange. They are not even balancing themselves, and they are facing bullying in school. When they are facing bullying, sort of things like that, they want to speak to you, but you've gone for night shift. Your husband is going in the morning. So no time to pay attention, to listen to them. And most time, your family back home, they're on phone with you. You're on phone 247. They want to talk to you. You keep on talking on phone. And if they want to speak out to you, there's no one to speak out to, they will take advantage of them outside.
Yeah.
And have a time to take them out. There are a lot of park, there are a lot of resort center. So leave your weekend sometimes. Just take a stroll. Enjoy this life. It's just one life you've got, not just working. You will pay your bill, don't worry. I know you, some of you pay part of school fees, you want to balance it, you will balance it, don't worry. Prioritize your children and register for that course. It will enlighten you more, because there's a report that said social workers too quick to wade in. It is expected to be critical of many aspects of system, particularly culture of investigative family. That investigation process, it goes a long way. And once they go to court, it is minimum of 6 months. You will battle with this, minimum of 6 months. And if one thing you need to pray for, when the police reports come, if they come with no further action, that will still help a bit. But for this time, just to summarize, let me tell you, there's someone that brought a adopted daughter and something like that. And once that child raised a concern, they too cannot even take care of that child. They said, oh, the child has a challenging behavior. Include another gentle woman, the boy, they said the boy has a challenging behavior. And these are the children that mommy and daddy love so much. They care for them. They don't even know what it costs parents to bring them to this country. They don't know that some parents are still.
They might even diagnose your child with wrong illness, like maybe a sign of autism or something.
There's a child. That is exactly what they want to do to that child. They want to turn it to handicap, as if he cannot do anything. The child that has been doing a lot of things back home, and sometimes once it happens like that, they will tell you, if there's a form they will ask you to sign, Section 20, if they need to take that children away from you. Section 20 is a voluntary, that you voluntarily give local authority to go and provide a safe place for your children, pending the time. That will make them to even go to court in the following hour to go and seek care, interim care order. So it's better before you sign it, seek a legal advice, call an advocate, or if better still, call your family friend or anybody that can look after them at that moment. That would be better at that moment. So that would be so helpful.
Thank you so much. So now let us take a question from some people. I mean, so now people are talking about the course. How are they going to register for the course? So are you going to send me like a link? So after this live, I'll just share it.
I will send you the link. Yes, I will send you the link how to register. And particularly there's, we normally stigmatize when we talk about mental health. Mental health is a very big concern. Because of that, we put that one on our YouTube. Mental health and the family. If you look at for that video, mental health and the family, that's very, very challenging, because sometimes through stress, and when it's a broken relationship, a single parent can be challenging, and this system will not even consider that. You have to go to work, you have to look after your children, you have to take care of them, and probably you still want a relationship. And if you want another relationship, let your child know in this country, because that person will look like a stranger to them. And they can go to school that I don't like this person. And they start asking, who is the person? So please build that relationship with your child, communicate effectively, and give them that attention they want. And when you set a rules, make sure you as a parent, you abide by that rule as well.
Yeah.
Don't just be rude to your children. Okay? So I will send you the link for them to register for that course. Yeah. Is there any question? Is there any question out there?
All right. So so we won't take any question. I'll just share this on my YouTube and also share your link and your page so that anybody that needs help would be able to reach out to you. So thank you so much for coming on this live. I mean, I'm sure that this, if we want to talk about the whole childcare system, we're going to stay here for hours. So this is very important, guys. If you're coming to the UK with your children, you need to really think, you need to plan. If you know you're not going to have time for them, it's better to leave them in Nigeria. They're going to be safer there than bringing them here. I know you want the better life for them, but at what cost? When you bring them here and you lose them to the system, what is now the value? What is now the whole stress? So if you know you're not going to have enough time to be with your child, if you know, some people are telling me, Faith, you're not working, you don't want to work, you're living in London, there are opportunities for you to do so. Why can you say you do not have a job? I just look at them and smile like, thank you, so that they go collect my pikin. So, I mean, two parents cannot work full time. It's very risky because there's no how you want to do it. One parent have to work part-time, the other have to work full-time. And if you're going to be working full-time, make sure your job is something that is flexible, that allows you to work maybe at night when your child is sleeping. During the day, you have time for them or something. So, I mean, do you have any final words you want to share with them before we go?
What I just want to tell them is that they should not be too scared of what will happen. Once you know the system, you understand the system, you'll be fine. And your children will also be fine. But prioritize your children. Because once it's happened, you cannot say you want to quickly rush and return them back. If they have opened a case file for them, if you rush and return them back, that's another criminal act. And they can prosecute for that. Because that means that there's something you are covering up. So it's better to prevent it at all costs. And once you and your partner, you love yourself, show that love to your children. And when there's a dispute, settle it amicably. Don't let it reflect or impact on those children. And the last one, FGM, female genital mutilation, is illegal. It's a criminal offense.
Yeah.
So if it is your culture,
girl child, please do not do that to them. Please don't even do that to them in Nigeria. It is wrong.
So we need to know that. We need to know that.
So my daughter's healthcare person told me that even if I give birth to a girl here and I take her to Nigeria and I do that to her, the female genital mutilation, if I bring her to the UK, they are going to say arrest me and I'm going to go to prison for it. So don't think that, oh, I will take her to Nigeria and do it and come back. You will still get arrested. You can't do that to your child. As long as the child is in the UK, the child belongs to the government. So you need to be really careful.
And when you bring them here, make sure you register them for GP, you register them for dentist, and you keep to appointments. If you cannot meet an appointment, meet up with it. Call them, let them know on time. Don't usually miss any appointment because those things can count. And have choice, have food at home because those are the basic things, basic needs of the children. Make sure they dress well to school, they look good, they look healthy, and eat healthy things. Because sometimes their body stature, weight can also call for attention.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on this live. I mean, thank you all for joining up. I'm going to leave the video on my YouTube channel. So in case you miss out from the beginning, you can go watch the full YouTube video. And I'm going to leave the link to his YouTube channel and also his page. And also, if you're interested in taking the parenting class, you also need to just go sign up. And I mean, learn the United Kingdom ways of parenting your child and communicate with your children, love your children, prioritize them. Please leave hustle for now, focus on your child. And yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olalikon, for coming on this live. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Thank you all for joining. Bye.